Good afternoon, children. I hope you all are fine. Today, for our English, we are going to learn a new lesson, lesson number 8. The topic of the lesson is called Miss Rottenmeier Has a Hard Day. This is about a real life story. There lived a woman, really, her name, her real life. This is. When she was a child, her mom and dad passed away, so she becomes an orphan. That means no father, no mother. Then what happened? Her mom's sister, she was looking after. Then she finds a job in a place in Germany, Frankfurt. So she wants to go there. When she wants to go there, she leaves this girl with her grandfather, that is her dad's dad. So she goes and she stays there, and she loves that place. That is in Switzerland, with all the Mount Alps was there, and lovely scenery everywhere. It's green, and the country life, goats and cats. She was carefree. No, there she was not forced, or there is no rules and regulations that she was expected to follow. So she was very free. Then what happened? Her aunt gets a chance where she was working. That in that house there was a small girl, and she becomes handicapped. She was unable to walk. She always was in need of some assistance. So, and there was a governess in that house. Governess is a person who manages everyone and everything in that house. She's been paid like a manager. So her name is called Miss Rottenmeier. She was totally in charge of Clara. Clara's the rich girl's daughter, and she's handicapped. So they were in need of a small girl, because Clara is handicapped. She was in the wheelchair. She could not go out and play with any other children. And usually rich children those days, they were not allowed to mingle with anybody. So they were looking out for someone who can play with Clara in the house. So this Heidi's aunt, that is her mom's sister, was working there. She had an idea. She wants to bring Heidi and let her stay and play and learn, and make life better for Heidi. So she asked their permission. She goes to Mount Alps and brings Heidi from her grandfather's house. And after coming here, Heidi finds it very difficult to get adjusted with this rules and regulation. This governess, Miss Rottenmeier, was very strict, like military rule. So she finds it very hard, very difficult to get adjusted. So it's a very long story, and this person we call Heidi, she really lived, and she just recently passed away. She died, and now her grandchildren are all still there. And this story has been written for small children, and also it has been made as movies, English movies, in so many languages like Japanese, German, English, French, like that. Now I am sending you some parts of this story in animation. Animation means you will watch all the cartoon stories. I have sent it. So I am just giving you the introduction for this. Now you are going to read this lesson. I want you all to read it once or twice and watch the animation story that I am sending related to this, and enjoy. In the next class we can do the book exercise as well as the question answers. So shall we read? This is an extract from the children's novel Heidi by Joanna Spyri. Heidi, a lively little girl, that is very active little girl, is brought up in the mountains of Switzerland by her grandfather. She likes to live in the countryside with goats grazing and pine trees rustling. That is, tall trees. Pine trees usually grow in the mountains, and they're tall because um, their leaves will be slanting down. Most of the mountains in Switzerland, there almost 6 to 9 months there will be snow on the in those areas. So if the leaves are slanting, the snow will not stay on the leaves and branches, it will fall down. Okay, and the remaining 3 or 4 months, they will be evergreen, fresh, free, green trees. And when they rush against each other, when the wind blows, they make a noise. Okay, so she likes the country life, live in the countryside with goats grazing and pine trees rustling. However, she is sent to live with a family in the city, far away from all that she loves. So she's been taken to the city. She likes the country life. Let's read. Heidi woke up early in the morning, puzzled. She lay trying to think how she came to be in this huge white bed. Then all at once, Heidi remembered that she was in a big city. She had to see the blue sky and feel the fresh spring air against her face, but the thick curtains drawn across the windows shut those away. Just at that moment, there came a knock at the door. "Breakfast is ready," announced the maid. Maid is a servant. Heidi dressed quickly and went to the dining room. There, Clara, the daughter of the house, greeted her with a friendly smile. After breakfast, Miss Rottenmeier told Heidi to go to the library with Clara and wait for the tutor. Library is the place inside the house where they keep it for study purpose. Okay, when the tutor arrived, the two girls started studying. Miss Rottenmeier soon heard a violent crash followed by shouts. She rushed to the library, then stood horrified. The table was overturned in the middle of the floor. A stream of ink trickled slowly across the room. Heidi was nowhere to be seen. "What has happened?" cried Miss Rottenmeier. "Everything is covered with ink. It must be Heidi." The tutor was gazing helplessly at the ruins. Clara, who was secretly enjoying herself, said, "Yes, it was Heidi, but she didn't mean to do it. She must not be punished. She was in such a hurry. She was in such a hurry to look at the street that she caught the tablecloth and pulled everything down." Miss Rottenmeier found Heidi standing at the door, looking up and down the street. "How dare you run away from your lessons like this?" demanded Miss Rottenmeier. "I heard the pine trees rustling," said Heidi. "Pine trees? What are you talking about? Come and see the mischief you have done. Never let this happen again," scolded the angry housekeeper. Lessons were out of the question for the rest of the day. In the afternoon, Clara had to rest for 2 hours, but Heidi wanted to see the pine trees, so she went to a tall tower. She climbed up, but there were only houses to be seen. As she came down, She saw a large grey cat in a basket. Heidi clapped her hands in delight. That means she was very happy. For in the basket lay 8 furry little kittens. She chose 2 of the kittens and put them in the pockets of her dress. She then hurried home. Miss Rottenmeier caught her, like before she could enter the house without anybody looking at her, and Miss Rottenmeier already saw her. She just caught her. Catch past tense, caught. With the stern expressions, she began. Stern means very strict. To go out without permission is a piece of naughtiness that deserves punishment. Meow was the reply. That is enough. Leave the room immediately, choked Miss Rottenmeier, red with anger. Meow. What do you mean by such rudeness? Cried Miss Rottenmeier. Meow, meow. Heidi wanted to explain and say, it's not me, it's the kittens. She brought out the kittens from her pockets. What? Kittens? Shrieked Miss Rottenmeier. To the poor woman, there was nothing more frightening than a cat. She stepped out of the room, having had enough for one day. Heidi was left standing, surprised. To her, kittens were a source of joy. She could not understand how anyone could be scared of such timid little creatures. So, children, I want you to read this story and listen to the animation that I am sending related to this. In the next class, we will write the question answers and the book exercise. Have a good day, children. Bye.